Hi and welcome to the next episode of our TecTalk Aftermarket podcast here at Automechanica Frankfurt, live from the Tech Alliance booth. And our next guest is a very special one. We are now leaving Frankfurt and going to South America. Specifically, we will be talking about Chile because we have Nicolás Parra from Bubba Autoparts. Nicolás, it's a very great pleasure to have you on the show. You've came all the long way from Chile just to be at this podcast, of course.
I wouldn't say that just to be in the podcast, but waiting for it since we started talking. So
and
very exciting to be here.
Could you give a little introduction about yourself to our audience? So who are you and what is Bubba Autoparts doing?
Well, my name is Nicolás Parra, and I'm the fourth generation taking over a family company who is dedicated to importing and distributing auto parts, OE quality auto parts from Germany for German cars in Chile. We've been on the market for about 80 years, 81 years. Dates miss me a little bit. It's been a long time. My great-grandfather founded this company. We started with brakes, and thanks to my father's help and what we're doing right now, we've expanded to refrigeration, suspension, engine parts, a bigger range of brakes, like a very big program for German cars, BMW, Mercedes, Land Rover, Audi, Volkswagen, Volvo.
And German cars very popular in Chile?
German cars are very popular, and at one point German cars were a luxury item, very impossible to get. The Chilean market is always changing. So in the beginning, German cars were a very unique luxury. Nowadays you have Ferraris, Lamborghinis, have Maseratis, you have every brand available. There's a lot of competition, and people really like the quality, the performance, the technology of German cars. So it's a market that is always growing, especially since the arrival of Chinese cars to Chile, because Japanese and Korean cars elevated their prices, and because they elevated the prices and German cars tried to maintain prices. A lot of people said, instead of a Mazda or a Subaru, let's go to an Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes. So the market for us, it's growing in that regards, and it's been great for us.
Great. And in general, how would you describe the market in Chile, the aftermarket? How does it differ from the European or maybe from the North American market?
Well, I believe that one of the things that is very different from here, the first is the amount of cars that are in our market. Chile is a test market for many brands, and we are in a continent where there's big players like Argentina or Brazil, but they have a lot of issues and bureaucracy when they want to import something. So what most companies do is that they import cars to Chile, see what's working, what's not working, if it's a good seller, which colors people want, and then when they find a winning car, they do all the paperwork to export it to Argentina or to Brazil. So Chile is a very diverse market. We have many brands, many models, sometimes not in big amounts. So working with China is complicated because they always ask you for huge amounts, and working with Europe or working with America is complicated because we have more products or more cars than what you have available in your market.
So it's like from an outside perspective, it's kind of a mix of different markets regarding the car park.
Exactly. We were fortunate enough to start working with TecTalk in our company. But one of the things we saw in the beginning is that there's many products or many cars that the option is not there because it was a one-time model or was a one-time thing or was a product that is so new, the Chinese just launching into the market. It also happens a lot that the American brands sell under different names here than in Chile. So for example, we don't have Vauxhall, but in Chile it's Chevrolet. Chevrolet is doing that business. There are different names for the cars. Usually, for example, Mitsubishi has this Mitsubishi Pajero. But Pajero is a slang word in Chile, so they change it to Montero. And when a customer is looking for it, they don't find it. So it's always a challenge to have all the information, the entire program, to really find or show the customer what they're looking for, because big market, challenging market in some regards,
Yeah.
but it's also a very good market. It's easy to import, it's easy to distribute. You have customers for whatever you want to sell. If
Yeah.
you want customers that are just looking for prices, you have those customers. If you have customers looking for quality, you have that. You have very well trained people. You have people that know
Yeah.
just to change a part. You have the car owners that really love their car and take
Yeah.
very good care, and car owners that say, okay, I change my car every 2 years. Doesn't matter what happens
Yeah.
to this car. So you have a bit of market for everything that you want to do, and because of that, it's also challenging. There's a lot of people trying to get into a market. They see, oh, it's a profitable market, it's a
Yeah.
very good market, but they don't understand that sometimes having just the best-selling products is not enough. You have to be able to offer a whole range of products, full support.
Yeah.
Sometimes the options are not very profitable, but that you
Yeah.
have to have them because
Yeah.
they are necessary. So
Yes, and from what I get, and you're telling that like German cars or European cars are quite a desirable object for the market in Chile. You are also focusing on quality of your products.
exactly. For us, OE quality is very important. It's which has always make us different from the competition. We've always said that our main competitor is not our neighbor or some other company. It's
Yeah.
BMW, it's
Yeah.
Mercedes, it's Audi. It's their quality, is what we're offering, and we are trying to be competitive. We're trying for the second owner or the third owner of the car
Yeah.
to be able to fix it and not finding themselves in these huge price differences. That OE quality is excellent, but many times it's just a white box.
Yeah.
But you know that Male is manufacturing, or Brembo is manufacturing, or TecTalk is manufacturing, and
And the consumers, are they interested also in the brand, like the car owners?
the car owners, some of them, yes.
Yeah.
Some of them want to know more about the products. Some of them understand a bit more about the
Yeah.
quality. Some of them have had very bad experiences because they didn't go for quality.
Yeah.
So there are people that know, that ask for the brand. Having the whole range of the products from a brand helps us to achieve that, because we know that people change their filter today and they come tomorrow and they know that maybe they don't remember Male, but they remember the blue box.
Yeah.
And they start like remembering the code OX something. But
Yeah.
you know they're asking for Male.
Yeah.
And the shops, the mechanics, they know the quality. They tell us that, okay, we are used to working with this quality and providing this service, so
Yeah.
you can change the brand, but if it's not in this quality, we will
Yeah.
not want it.
And this is like the end consumers, the drivers, but you already mentioned it. Your points of sale are the workshops. So how do you make sure that the workshops are willing to work together with you? Are there any programs you are doing?
Well, first, service. That's one of the things that we try to do: provide good logistics, have the availability of for the products, but also nowadays it's training. Training is the most important part of our business, because the fact that there are so many competitors in the market, that
Yeah.
there's so many people claiming quality,
Yeah.
but not really having it, makes it challenging for us to be able to offer the products we offer, because they're not in the cheapest price range.
Yeah.
They're reasonable, but they're more expensive. And many times the consumer, the owner of the car, doesn't know what he's paying for, why he has to pay for certain things,
Yeah.
or don't understand the parts. But also the workshops, the mechanics are not able to explain properly what are the issues or why it is important, why you have
Yeah.
to change certain things. And that's where we're working a lot with our brands, with Peerburg, with Male, with TMD, with Zimmerman, on creating programs to teach, to train mechanics to be able to show them the parts, show them not only the technical drawing, but to be able to have samples. Very useful is to have the products cut and see how they fit together. Explain that it's not a quality issue, but it's a production issue. For example, the more plastic pieces means that you have to be more careful. That there's a certain level of pressure that you can do. There's a reason why you have to change it, and that way they can explain the customer properly and also have a better sale for them, to provide a better service. But in the end, it's focused on maintaining the information of the quality of the products, of what we're doing, what we're selling, why it is important, why these brands are renowned, why the OE quality is different from other kinds of qualities, aftermarket, sometimes copies that you see a lot in the market, and it's important for them to know it, because it's they are the ones talking to the customer. They are the ones manipulating the products. So they must understand this. And this is why we're more and more focused on training, on information, on giving the best support possible, on trying to use all the tools that TecTalk allows us to have in our market. It's challenging to develop new solutions, but
no, totally. And I guess that's the right way. You need to differentiate from your competitors. Not just selling the part is not enough. You need to offer additional services to the workshop to form a real relationship with them.
Exactly. There's many competitors that try to work with OE brands, but only where the price is more convenient.
Yeah.
And in the end, the customer sees, okay, you're selling me one brand for the front, one brand for the back, because it's cheaper, and tomorrow you have another brand cheaper for the front, and you'll change brand. So you're not committing the customer to quality, you're committing them to price. Committing them to price, it's always a bad business, because these kinds of cars,
where does it end?
And these kinds of cars are quality cars. You're paying $50, $100, $120,000 for a car. You need to, it's like owning a Ferrari and don't want it to pay for gasoline. It's expensive, but it's a Ferrari. You need it. It's part of how this should work. So quality and showing technical information is one of our main focus today. Training people, working with universities, technical centers, working with our customers, using social media to inform the customer. We don't want the user of the car, the owner of the car, to be an expert, but we want him to be able to talk more or less the same language as the mechanic, or as we, or the language we're speaking, because that way they know that we're not trying to invent something or trying to convince them of something. It's not true. We never.
No, but you want to also educate the driver about the importance of buying quality parts.
Safety is super important in a country like ours, a very long country, very diverse country, very hot weather, arid desert in the north, one of the driest deserts in the world. But you have the south of Chile, very wet, very different conditions. Not all the roads are in the best conditions, because you have a lot of agriculture, so it's less city, more fields, more nature, more you're going to the beach, but you're also going to the mountains, skiing.
It's very diverse.
Conditions can change within a day very fast, depending on where you are. So braking, suspension, your engine, you don't want to be overheating in the middle of the desert and having no options, because there you have no options. You're just stranded in the middle of the desert. So quality is important.
And in terms of quality, is a big factor in the buying decision. Do you also experience that the manufacturers are now trying to step into the aftermarket, like from OE side?
Not so much in our market, at least. We have market in Chile is very concentrated regarding the car representatives in Chile. So their business is always focused on selling cars. And they leave the maintenance and the support to the second owner or other dealerships or companies like ours. We are the ones providing the quality. They have always the OE brands. They always have the best quality possible. What the car comes from the factory, but short supplies, more complicated.
So you would also say it's like it's not an easy market. So there are some barriers to enter the Chilean aftermarket.
There's a lot of barriers that you don't see immediately. It's easy to import, so okay, I can get the product. Oh, people want the products. But when you start getting into this, you see it's more technical. It's a deeper market than you thought. That you have to have good relationships with many competitors, because they're doing things that you're not doing. They're supplying cars that you're not supplying, and they also work with quality many times. So they're working with a brand that you're working, but not in the same products. And the relationship with them is important, because I cannot go to them and tell them let's fix prices. That's illegal.
But
we need to, if you're selling Techstar, I'm selling Techstar, we should be both selling quality. And not you're selling prices, I'm selling quality, because that creates a distortion in the market.
So you need very in-depth knowledge of the market. So for you, it's actually quite an advantage being like in the fourth generation. So your great grandfather, as you said, founded the company. So you have a very, very good knowledge and experience of the market. And I understand also that it can be for you. I mean, you are now the generation, the latest generation. There's also a lot of pressure on you, but there's also all this knowledge you can look back to.
Well, this is part of the changes we've been having in the past few years. My father is very active in the company. He knows every number by heart. He can sell you every part for a Mercedes, because he knows if he has it, in which brands, the OE numbers. He's like a human computer in that sense.
He's like a human TecTalk catalog.
Yeah. But for us, it was, my sister and I are in the company, and it was challenging to come into the company and see that reaching in his mind to get that information was complicated. So we decided to innovate and to improve our systems. We changed our ERP to SAP. Very complicated venture, but it worked for us very good. And actually here at the Automechanic, I've been talking to other people from Paraguay, from Colombia, from Mexico, telling me, oh, we've been at this for a year and a half and we still don't see results. And can we exchange numbers? Can we talk about it? Because maybe you can help us.
Maybe you can turn this into a service as well.
Of course. Well, we're looking for business everywhere, but we remain in Autoparts. But we changed to SAP. It worked great for us, and it allows us to, for example, have TecTalk. That was very important. My father was giving the information for the sales team about the OE numbers and matching codes between one brand and another. It's always
cross-referencing.
And I knew that TecTalk had the technology and the information. We were fortunate to find the Brazil offices at this moment. And you were starting with the South American development, but still great information. But the challenge of convincing my father of, hey, this is the tool, the company with which we have to work. They have the information. They will make our lives easier. In the beginning was no. People in our market looked at us like we were crazy. Like, why are you spending in this? It's not necessary. Chile is not a country that specializes in innovation or development of these things. Like, somebody will bring this already done for us in 10 years and we will buy that. And now our competitors are coming to TecTalk and how can we have this catalog and how does it work and how can we get the information and how can we communicate this better?
And this is like an investment also in the future. And do you think for you it is easier to have this view into the future because you are already there, like for 4 generations? You know, you're not thinking about the situation right now. You're also thinking about how will the company be in the next 20, 30,
how
40
will the
years.
5th generation come into the company? It's always challenging because we're doing things today that we know that are going to have results tomorrow, but are helping. As I said before, we're educating our customers, but we're also trying to create tools that will make their lives easier. If you don't want to invest, don't worry. I'll invest for you. Let me be your partner. Let me be the one helping. That regards everything that is changing, electromobility, EV vehicles, new technologies. There's a lot of things going on in the market, but we are very well established. We know that the market in the future will be changing, but not so much because we don't have the infrastructure, for example, for the EV market to be a big market. And it won't take 5 years or 10 years. It may be a 20-year issue or 30-year issue because energy production in Chile is not easy. And also you have to change infrastructure, capacity, the mentality of people. And again, very long country, very concentrated in Santiago. Santiago is half the population. So if you have an EV vehicle and you want to go on holidays to the south, you won't find the infrastructure that you have in Santiago, and the car becomes less reliable and less useful. And at the end of the day, a car is a tool, something that makes your lives easier. You don't want to be overcomplicating yourself with this. It doesn't mean they're not coming to the market. It doesn't mean there's no technology changes, but We have great partners that are looking into this with us. They are seeing into the future. They're seeing that new things are coming. They are cautious about getting overexcited about certain things. They say, yeah, electromobility is coming. We should look at it into it, but it's not changed the entire business model. It's not like Volvo that said no more combustion engine. Yeah, but is everywhere ready for that?
Yeah, no.
It's a great initiative. I think it's very good, very positive that you're thinking on the planet, on new technologies, and improving. But the world doesn't move that fast, especially in this global world with very different realities. We have great chances of growing. We have great chances to continue developing the market, to have better collaboration. We're always expanding. We're right now growing a lot, and this gives us opportunity to offer more variety of products, more brands, always remaining in all quality, but being able to offer more, to service more, to do more for our customer. That at the end of the day, if we don't have them happy, we don't have a business.
Yeah, and you spoke about the structure of the country itself. Because it's such a large country, is it also a struggle doing the logistics for your partners?
Sometimes it's complicated. There's a lot of logistic companies in Chile because of the shape of the country, so it's not complicated to deliver to big cities in Santiago or in Chile. But you also have these smaller places where you have great customers because they own a lot of land or they have big production in certain places, but they don't have regular services there, or they don't have regular deliveries, and expenses go up. The logistic is more time consuming because it's more expensive. It takes more time. If you send anything wrong to a customer, getting things back, it's also a very long process. But I believe it's more than believe. I know because we work with a lot of logistic companies that the Chilean market is very well developed. In the domestic sense. Importing is another story. It's always challenging because our infrastructure for importing is not as big as it should be. But shipping companies do a great job with us. We have great partners in that way. Land shipping, for example, from Brazil, it's always more tricky because we have the Andes next to us. In winter, you have a lot of snow. Many times the frontier is closed. The weather conditions are not the best, so you can have delays on shipments for weeks or months. And that's a bit more challenging, but we are prepared for the logistic problems really well. And that's why we were also able to develop all this e-commerce, because sending products to a customer was a very achievable reality.
Yes. And talking about e-commerce, what role do the big platforms play in the market in Chile, like Mercado Libre, for example? I guess it has a very high adoption rate in Chile as well, so many people are using it.
Well, Chile is again an very open market. We have a huge adoption of credit cards. Bank system is very stable. It's not like in Argentina. Credit card adoption is a bit lower, but in Chile you can buy anything with credit card. We have 90% internet coverage. We had the third best internet in the world, which is weird for a relatively unknown country.
But it's good, because I think like in Germany we are not even in the top 10. Maybe.
No, here I struggle with it. Here. So we have big e-commerce platform players. We have Mercado Libre, we have Falabella, we have Dafiti. Huge operations, very good at what they're doing. We've talked to them in the past because they want to know how to get into the auto parts business in the e-commerce side. But it's challenging because selling a t-shirt is not the same as selling a brake pad. You can look at all the t-shirts they're selling, and it's okay, you find whichever one you like, but there's only one brake pad that will work for your car, so only one filter.
The brake pad is not just about is it a small, medium, large or extra large. It's more complicated.
You can't say, oh, I like that shape. No, you have to have the one for your car. So searching for the product and getting to the product is difficult. Nevertheless, Mercado Libre, for example, there are a lot of people working in Mercado Libre offering products. The more generic, if you have a light bulb, windshield wiper, or you have brake fluid or oil, it's easier.
Yeah.
But there are people like selling shock absorbers, and they create
listing.
a listing with shock absorber for BMW from 2010 to 2015, all the models, and there's someone behind that receiving a lot of questions and helping you get to that, but it's the seller, not the website.
Yeah.
So it's a great tool. It helps you have visibility. It also helps you to sell, but I don't believe that they are quite ready to get into the auto parts business, because they're missing the proper search engine, and it's not easy to develop a search engine in a market with what I was telling you before, the variety of cars, of products, of information.
Yeah, believe me, we know how difficult it is.
It's I talk to suppliers, I talk here with the people in TecTalk about how can we help you, because we need to have more. And obviously I'm young, I want to make my mark in the company, I want to grow as fast as possible, but I also have to remember that this is a very specific product. You have to take your time, do it properly, match it properly, talk to the right suppliers or the right manufacturers. Really do a good job hurrying it up and doing something that it's not really what the market is expecting. It's shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and would you say that the market in that case is also more challenging because it is way more consumer or driver driven than the market, for example, in Europe? What I mean is that it is quite common in South America that if I need a new brake pad, I just buy it, take it to the workshop, and make them putting it into my car. Like in Germany, it's not happening, not at all. But it's very common in Chile, right?
It's not only in Chile, in South America in general, and it happens because the market was very informal. The mechanics, the shops want to overcharge you. The dealership wants to overcharge you, and the customer got fed up with it.
Yeah.
They got into the market, they started exploring how they can buy, how they knock on your door, they see the products. Now we have an e-commerce, we cannot stop them from buying if they want to buy.
No.
And it's challenging because, again, they don't know the product.
Yeah.
So they know that, okay, I have to change brake pads. But sir, you have to change the brake fluid, you have to change the sensor.
Yeah, you need
maybe you need to fix the rotor, the grease for the... everything that is required for the service, and you don't have it, and you buy one piece, you go to the mechanic, and the mechanic says you need more parts. No, because this is the only thing I need. In the end, that's why training is important. That's why formation is important, because the customer is in this market. They have access to the products, they have access to information. But a very surface level information.
So but also you as a brand, you need to be visible to the consumer.
Explain to them. One of the things we try to do a lot with our consumers is, if you're buying this, try to go to a shop where they know what they're doing. Because they will check your car, because you're taking this, but maybe this is not the only thing you need. It happens when you sell rotors. Brake disc, and they only buy the brake disc. Need to change the pads. It's part of the service. No, I've changed it 2 weeks ago. They're fine. Go to a place where they can give you a proper service. That's the challenge right now, on turning back to the services, to convince the customer that the right way to go is the service. Not because we want to overcharge them, not because we don't want them in the market. But a good service comes from a good shop, from a good mechanic, from people with experience. And it's tricky, and it's challenging, and it's complicated, and it also changes your times. Our sales team are used to working with shops, mechanics, very fast moving, very, very agile, and then you have a person coming in with 20 questions and very slow and not sure, and it's challenging to switch from going very fast to slowing down and explaining to someone something that they don't truly understand. To make a sale that sometimes it's very small, and it goes against the interests of our shops or the mechanics that work with us, because they are also losing money with this. They're losing opportunities. So that's one of the challenges on which we are working. And again, the suppliers, the competitors in our market,
Yeah.
us. We have to find strategies that maybe not work hand by hand, but strategies that talk to one another so that
Yeah.
what we're showing the customer is consistent. If you have a Peugeot or a Mazda or a BMW
Yeah.
or whatever car you want, but this brand has a consistent strategy, and that's the challenging part in all
Yeah.
of this.
No, totally. And looking into the future a bit, so what do you think where the market is heading in the next, let's say, 10, 20 years maybe? So what will be the challenges and opportunities for the fifth and maybe the sixth generation in your business?
I think probably more of a global market.
Yeah.
You see, every time it's easier to move around, to open opportunities in other countries.
Yeah.
You see that there is a need, there is a demand. We have a business model that's not really common in Latin America. This
Yeah.
buying the whole range from a brand, it's not something you see very regularly.
Yeah.
So brands are supporting you, are behind you. So expansion is always a good possibility, something that you're always looking into it. Also, maybe in 20 years, the car market will be a bit different. But for now, combustion engine, it's still the main thing that it's in the market. I believe the challenges for the next 5 to 10 years is the technology, the new
Yeah.
things that are in the car, the new parts that must be changed, the differences in oils, in
Yeah.
antifreeze, the technology in pads, in brake discs, the compound brake discs,
Yeah.
the quality, materials. Believe the market in Chile won't change that much regarding how the car works, but what the car has will
Yeah.
be very different, and that's where we have to be more and more specialized,
Yeah.
more trained, more. Our brand is not car parts. Car
Yeah.
parts have their brand. Our brand is quality, is information, is reliability.
Yeah.
That's what we're pushing forward. That's why what we're working on. That's what we want to continue doing. And well, hopefully for my father to be able to retire finally and
Yeah.
rest in his house
Yeah.
and enjoy his free time.
Yes.
Because he's very active in the company, and
Yeah.
I think he will be until the sixth generation. So
But I guess he can already see that it is in good hands, and that's also my impression, because you are quite a forward thinker as well. You are embracing going digital, setting up the company for a bright future, and I guess it was a really nice talk with you. Thank you very, very much for being here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
I will make sure that we catch up again before the next generation is coming in.
Of course we will. I'm sure we will catch up before the next generation. Next generation is 9 months old, so
Okay.
we have time.
So we have a couple of years.
Yeah, before I'm replaced for a
Okay.
younger model.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.